Generally, students are identified by the school that they attend. What if by chance the roles were reversed, that the school was identified by its students? The dictionary defines a renaissance as a revival or renewed interest in something. In the fall semester of 1985, 5 young men from Cleveland's urban east side made their way to a private school on Cleveland's outskirts of Gates Mills. In those 3 years, they gained tremendous interest and changed the way that people looked at the private school of County Line Road. This is their story. Welcome to the Renaissance.
Has not worked for him tonight.
And he has to throw here. It's 3rd down and 12 deep over the middle. It is there. It is fouled. Eric Hamilton pulls it in. A big first down, converting on 3rd and 12.
And liftoff of the 25th Space Shuttle mission, and it has cleared the tower.
This morning, it looked as though they were not going to be able to get off.
1 minute 15 seconds. Velocity 2,900 feet per second. Altitude 9 nautical miles. Downrange distance 7 nautical miles.
The Boston Celtics select Len Bias of the University of Maryland.
There he is, Len Bias. Len was sitting by. She is here with him. Len Bias, who had a great career at Maryland. Many people think he may be the best athlete in the draft. And Larry Donald, how would you position that with Len Bias?
Lordy Dotty, we like to party, we don't cause trouble, we don't bother nobody, we're just the men that's on the mic, and when we rock up on the mic, we rock the mic.
Say yes to your life, and when it comes to drugs and alcohol, just say no.
Excellence with no regrets. Coach Cliff Moulton used to say that every single day. Excellence with no regrets. And that mantra became a rallying cry for those 5 young men. Now, there were numerous historical events that transpired between the fall of 1985 to the summer of 1988. However, in the era where social media was relegated to print, radio, and television, the quintet that was affectionately known as the Juice Crew used their athletic ability, their intellect, and their swagger to historically change the perception of that small private school that was nestled in obscurity between Cuyahoga and Geauga counties. I'm Melvin L. Jones. In the 3 years that my 4 brothers and I came together, we changed the way that a region, not just a community, perceived Hawken. I invite you on a historical literary journey where our impact is still being felt over 3 decades later. This is our history. This is our legacy.
Welcome to Buzz Talk Live. Native of Warrensville Heights in Cleveland, Ohio, a suburb of the East Side, my guest tonight, Melvin Jones, the author of the critically acclaimed Park Dreams, presents his newest project, a personal story of 5 youngsters from Cleveland's urban areas, starting their high school experience in 1985 at Hawken School, a private school on Cleveland's outskirts. In an era where social media was regulated to print, radio, and TV, dubbed the Juice Crew, in their 3 years, they have changed the way people saw the school athletically and socially. The author, nicknamed Big Mel, describes and paints a picture of how he formed a brotherhood of athletes. Now that, long-lasting effect on the school, effects that are still being felt today. The Juice Crew made Hawken prime time. So please, chat and welcome Melvin to Buzz Talk Live. How you doing, Melvin?
I'm good. Thank you for having me on.
Hey, thanks for being on. Thanks for making the time. You're amazing. You came from, you are. I mean, come on, let's face it. the challenge of growing up where you did, and you went to a private school, and you met up with other men or other boys at the time, and you changed everything. But where I want to start, where are we tonight, right now?
I'm in Cleveland. I'm in Warsaw Heights. I mean, I can't be far away from my
Oh,
I grew up. I mean, it's home. I mean, life is a circle. I mean, I've been to other places, but you're always drawn back to home. So that made it apropos that I'm back in Cleveland to be able to talk about this book.
okay. We have a little bit of a connection issue. You're kind of choppy, so hopefully, we can clear that up. Or you're on Wi-Fi there. It seems like. But we'll continue on here. Hopefully, it'll clear up as we continue.
Okay.
So you're an author of 3 books currently at the time. I'm keying in on your second book, though. Your second book, Park Dreams, where it's all about the experience of Cooperstown and the experience of 12-year-olds going through the Dream Park experience with their families and friends,
Right.
and you play a crucial role in the games. You're the umpire.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an odd way of putting it, but yeah, I play a role as being an umpire.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, with the book that you created from that experience, can you talk how how this all came to be, and what drove you to write a book, Park Dreams?
Well, it has to start from the beginning. One of my friends that I met in Akron when I was going to school down there, he had been encouraging me to be an umpire, official, referee. He was talking about how easy money it was.
Right.
And I thought about it. And then after a while, when I came back from living in Virginia for some years, I decided to take him up on his offer, and I started umpiring some baseball games. And
Yeah.
even though I had played as a kid, I mean, I fell in love with the game again, being able to be from a different perspective. And even though I played the game, it's totally different from playing the game and being an umpire. I have to know all these rules, all
Sure.
these situations, and
Yep.
if this happens, you got to call this call. And it was overwhelming, but it was enjoyable. So
Yeah. Well, especially in
that's how that.
Cooperstown. I mean, it's a great little town. It has such an ambiance of baseball. I mean, all the streets are baseball shops, and anybody who's ever been there is it's an
Right.
amazing little town if you love baseball. And the Dream Park is just down the road a little ways from the main strip of Cooperstown, and they hold tournaments. Where kids play against other states, right? Is it other states?
You have 100 teams from almost every state in the union there, and then some come from Canada. And it's unreal to see all these kids interacting, playing with each other, talking about everything, including baseball. I mean,
Right.
talking about some of them talking about their favorite teams, they're trading pins. It was unreal just to see all that. I mean, kids enjoy being kids. It was great. And then just enjoying the game the way that it was to be played. Even when me being a kid playing baseball, it brought back memories of me playing baseball back in Lawrenceville.
Sure.
And it was unreal.
Yeah, I mean, having the official position that you have, it makes your job a lot tougher if we're in front of families, and having a bad call, having the good call not being spotlighted on for that. But it's tough, being an umpire. I can just imagine. But well, where this leads is that you wrote a book, and your experience of that time. You have children, I believe. You have 3 kids.
I have 3 kids. I have 2 girls, twin girls, and I have a son. My girls are in college right now, so
Oh,
but
okay.
my
Well,
son is.
and
Yeah,
you're
my
still
son.
involved with Cooperstown, right? You're still umpiring.
I still umpire. We weren't able to do Cooperstown this year due to the virus, but I'm hoping that we'll be able to do it again next year. Hopefully that
Right.
open back
Right.
up and get back to doing what everybody loves doing, is playing baseball.
Yeah, because I mean that town survives on, people coming to it, spending money in their little shops and visiting the
Right.
museum, and then the Dream Park is just down the road where you get hundreds and hundreds of people that filter through that town, and so Park Dreams is basically getting back to your son, I'd like to talk about that because your son Marshall is a transplant patient, kidney transplant patient. I understand.
Yeah, he had a kidney transplant a few years ago. It's doing good. And he
Okay.
loves baseball. He loves sports, period. I mean, baseball, basketball, football. And with him and I not being able to spend as much time together, and I was able to go to Cooperstown and
Yeah.
enjoy that, it it was hard for me not to think that he would have enjoyed this moment, being able to hit home runs and keep the baseball,
Yeah.
just meeting other kids from other cities, other towns, other states, from Canada,
Yeah.
and I was telling little stories when I was sending back on social media about it, about how great everything was, about the little instances that I had that made me reflect back on not only my youth, about what kids are experiencing now. And
Hmm.
one of my best friends, who talk about later on about all these stories I was getting, he said, "You need to write a book about this."
Yeah. Yeah.
So I thought about it and I said, okay, I'll go ahead and do it. And that's how Park Dreams came about.
So when you wrote the book, how old was your son Marshall?
He was about 11. He was about
Oh
11.
wow. So he was right in that time period of when the kids go up there and play. I mean that's
Yeah,
those fields are for 11 and 12-year-olds. That must have really ripped your heart out, being up there and not seeing your son out there playing and you being an official position up
right,
there. And well, look, you wrote the book and it's it serves two purposes. It serves a purpose of getting the word out about that experience up there, and it also serves a personal purpose for yourself and your son, which
right.
is honorable. Very good, very good. Well done, well done,
Yeah, I
Marshall.
appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's fast forward then. Let's get into this new book that you have, the Onyx Renaissance. First of all, the title of it. How did you come to the title of the book?
Okay. The yearbook for Hawken School is named the Onyx. So
Oh, okay.
that brought the idea, and then what I thought about it was the 3 years that we were there, what we did in that time frame. I mean, you have to consider, like I said, radio, television, newspaper. That's
Right.
it. You didn't have Facebook. You didn't have
No,
any type of social media.
no, not at all.
So the school that we went to was not really known for athletics. I mean, it was known for academics, and at the time they were starting to really get known for school, but not the major sports. So the time frame that we were there,
All right.
we brought notoriety to those sports. We brought that cachet to those sports. So it had to be considered a science. So I put together Onyx
Very,
Renaissance, and there you
very
have it.
good. That's very smart. Yeah, that's a great. I didn't know that the book, the school, the Onyx.
School yearbook,
What a
the
great
Onyx.
tie-in! What a great tie-in. Um,
Right.
so you and four others. Now, these other kids at the time, they came from different parts in and around that Cleveland area. No.
Right. It's Owen Benjamin Will Appling, O.J. McDuffie, and Marcus T. I've known Owen for the longest because even though we grew up in Warrensville,
Right.
he grew up in the Eastwood section of Warrensville, and I grew up in Westwood. And the only time that we would come together was during happened to be baseball was at Soho Fields during the Little League time,
Right.
and we
Right.
would see each other. So, and then a few years later, we got together at the Warrensville Heights Junior High School, our 8th grade year, where we met OJ, because OJ had just moved in from a town called Marion, Ohio, which was in between Columbus and Mansfield. So we spent 2 years together, and after our 9th grade year, we go to Hawken, and that's when we meet Marcus and Will Appling, because they grew up on the east side of Cleveland, in the Wood Park neighborhood. So we came together summer 1985, and then the rest is history.
Yeah, yeah. Amazing, because I mean the kids that you grew a bond with and a brotherhood of athletes. My God, you took over the program. It looks like. I mean, the school, the Hawken School, which is a private school in around that area, they didn't have winning championships. They didn't have all the sports that people would look upon and raise trophies with until you guys came on the scene and basically took over the place. I mean, multi-sport athletes, one going to the NFL, which we'll get to later,
Right.
but I mean, incredible achievements that you guys did together as a bond and a band of brothers, as they say, to take over the athletics. What did the coaches think when you guys came on the scene?
Coach Walton, I mean, that man was incredible. That's the first thing. He's an incredible man, incredible mentor. But he didn't overload anything. He kept everything on an E level. There was never a time where we thought that he was going in over on his head or he was too emotional. Everything was very stable with him. So
yeah.
Even though he may have enjoyed the ride, but he still made sure that we didn't get too big on ourselves or get too low on ourselves. So he was the right man for us. I'll say that he was the right man for us.
Wow, that was great. I mean, he Walton is that his name, Coach?
Coach Walton. Yeah, that was a football coach. Yes, sir.
The football coach. Okay.
And we had some other coaches that were probably on the same temperament, but nothing like Coach Walton. Coach Walton, you could go to at any time, go to his office, and he would teach you about life other than football, other than basketball, other than baseball and track. I mean,
Well,
he gave you life lessons.
So how old were you at the time? You must have been like 16, 17.
We were 15 going on 18 those 3 years.
Right.
It was, I mean, we were in the prime of those teenage years.
Yeah. And being a part of the athletic program at the school and having a coach like that to mentor you guys, and everybody, took to him, because all of the others that I call them the Fab Five here, that you guys developed, you all, had mentoring with Coach Walton, because everybody played that same sport, and everybody played other sports as well. I mean, baseball, football, basketball. Am I leaving something out?
Track and field.
Track and field.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. It's crazy that, I mean, look at some of these pictures that you have up there where you developed a friendship and you developed. And what about the other kids that went to the school and, as far as played on the teams? Was it that much of an overshadow of talent that you just said, "Look, guys, just sit on the bench. We got this," and you guys just took over the game?
I wouldn't say that. I mean, it would be a disservice to them to say that they weren't. That they weren't good. I mean, but they weren't. I mean, OJ McDuffie was another level, and then we
Right.
were
Right.
a little bit wrong before them. But it wasn't like they were just there taking up space. No, there was a lot of talented guys on our football team, on our basketball team. Heck, our sophomore year, we had Donald's All American and Maurice Gray. So
Hmm.
you can't say that there were no other pieces to the parts. It's just that to that whole, it's just that we just brought that little bit more swagger and more element of bravado that just took it to that next level. That I feel so.
And as far as like any of the kids that left that school, yourself, I mean, you went to college after that, and did you play ball there?
I threw track a little bit, and then I tried to go to the next level. It didn't work out, but
Yeah.
I
I mean,
I
you're a
don't
big
regret.
guy. You're
not,
where
not as big as I used to be. Not as big as
well,
I used to
yeah,
be.
they
It
say
was,
you shrink after after a while you come down, but
well,
I mean,
I lost. I had to lose the weight too because yeah, that wasn't looking too good for me.
well, what
It
position did you
wasn't
play
where
in football?
I played offensive defensive tackle.
Oh, wow, okay, so there you go. There you go.
Right.
About 300, 6'5", something like that.
I weighed about 265 when I was in high school. I got up to in the 300s when I was in college, and then when I stopped playing, it just got worse and worse. And I said, I'm not going to do this. I had to get rid of that weight. It was looking
Yeah,
bad.
yeah, yeah. Incredible. I mean, to write a book about how you and your other buddies that just took over uh, the school, and it's just an incredible story that you did that, and you got the notoriety of how that all came to be. Um, but as far as just fitting in with the school as a student and where you guys came from to come in to that school, was there any pushback? Was there any feeling of like animosity, this other stuff?
We didn't feel an animosity. We did get a culture shock. I mean, you got to consider when it was still the mid 80s.
Right.
You had Reagan era. I mean, for whatever good or bad. And you also had what they call the so-called war on drugs, because it seemed like, at
Yeah.
least the media made it seem like that I could walk out my neighborhood and pick up crack wherever I wanted to. I
Right.
mean, it
Right.
was almost
Yeah.
like
No.
living hell on earth.
I mean,
But
that was a bad time. I mean, the mid '80s for all that stuff. It was is an incredible time in our country, and people on drugs and taking drugs, and uh, you know, and to have you guys go through the system and stick to sports and go through it and you know do your thing and not to be intimidated was an achievement all to itself.
I mean, we really didn't see it that much, but like I said, the way the media made it seem like was that it was just hell on earth where we were from,
Yeah.
and yeah, there were some bad parts, but not as bad as the media made it seem. Now, the culture shock was able to go to school and seeing cars that you see on television. I mean, just going through Hawken is in a bird sanctuary, the clean air, the trees everywhere, and just not that hustle of the city life. It was unreal. It
So
was
you kind of
not so,
adapted to that area. Well, how did
right.
let me? I want to take a break. I gotta bring in some chats here because they're chatting away, and I think I'm a little behind on the chats here, but because we got talking. But as far as the solar coaster, about Cooperstown, I guess there's a great brewery up there in Super
Oh, okay.
Cooperstown. Yeah, it is a great little town. And
It
let's see,
is.
how about the fans? Did they follow you guys through the sports? Big culture shock. Can you confirm that much from X Night 01?
It was a big culture shock. I mean, you hear about BMWs, you hear about Mercedes Benz and all that stuff, and you're watching those cars in the parking lot come in, and you're used to taking a bus ride,
Yeah,
almost an hour away just to go to a school, and kids are getting who have their temporary licenses and getting out of these expensive cars. It's really, I mean, wearing
yeah,
clothes that that if you have that clothing, it's like one outfit, not a whole group of outfits like that.
yeah,
And I mean, even some things like the way we had lunch, just the lunches that we had were total difference from city lunch.
yeah.
It was just unreal. It was unreal.
How did you guys come together as far as because you didn't know each other? I mean, you had a buddy of yours that came from your area, but then these other people came from different areas. How
I
did
mean,
that
we just
by sports by talent? I guess when they came in the door, you saw they can play, and you kind of gravitated towards one another. I'm assuming anyway. I mean, that's how that usually works.
well,
um,
it was before sports. I mean, we just started being able to bond together. I mean, enjoy each other's company. I mean, one of the biggest things I enjoyed doing together is on that long bus ride was playing card game like Spades, and we play for hours, have conversations with each other.
right,
I
right.
mean, it was one of those times where we bonded, and then when we got on to the either field, football field, basketball, um, it just went from there to the athletics, and it just was an easy transition. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, yeah.
and even to the point where if we were going to get on each other, we knew it was coming from the heart. It wasn't that we were doing it just trying to be mean. We wanted to better each other because we had that mentality, and we also had that swagger, that dog mentality. That hey, nobody's going to stop us. We weren't going to wait our turn to make it to that level. We wanted to go
Yeah,
there right
yeah.
now. All of us had that mindset, so
I
it
guess
just
there's a chat
blended.
up there from X Night. I guess either he's from one of the Fab Five area. You got Big Mel from Tons, number 73. Is that
No, he's was he's a I think he was a sophomore. That's oh my gosh, that's Christopher. Okay, it's Washington. Okay,
I guess he's
big up
watching too.
Chris. Yeah, he's watching. Okay, yeah,
Yeah, there
he's
you
the
go.
guys under us. Matter of fact, he was probably a sophomore our senior year.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
I,
yeah, Chris.
so how did you guys come up with the name Juice Crew? Was the Juice Crew given to you?
We thought of that. I mean, I consider one thing. 80s was hip hop. I mean, we were all hip hop junkies. We listened to everything between Run
Right, right, right.
DMC. I mean, all of that.
You didn't
And one
have
of the
you didn't have one of those gloves, right? The sparkle gloves. You didn't like.
no, I didn't have that. None of us had that. No, that would have been
Okay,
that'd have been
just
horrible.
checking.
We none of us would have sat down. No, no. We'd have clowned each other for the next few years if one of us came wearing that glove. Um, One of the popular rap groups at the time, or conglomerates, was the Juice Crew All Stars that had Big Daddy Kane, Mass Ace, Craig G, started by Marley Marl. And it just so happens if you saw one of us, you saw all of us. We were all together. We hung together. We went to parties together. If we did go, we went to any type of function. You saw one, you saw all of us.
So all of us,
And
yeah, yeah.
yeah, and OJ's nickname was Juice, and he was the main one. I mean, you have to admit, if he's a straw that stirred the drink, so it just became easy to call us Juice Crew.
So there was Chill Will, Benji,
Right?
Juice, Ice, and Big Mel.
Those are five.
And that's five.
That's a five.
So let's talk about OJ McDuffie. He went on to play for the Dolphins after
Right.
after his college career.
Yes.
And a thorn in my side because I remember him because you know, as a Jet fan, I hated OJ McDuffie. He
I'm
used to
sorry.
kill us.
I got to see it.
Well, let me
ever
tell you
since he
something,
was
Mel.
in junior high.
Big Mel there. Let me tell you something. I love him now.
Oh, okay.
I love
Okay.
OJ McDuffie. No, just because you put two and two together here and where he's from, and now I know the
Right.
story. That it's awesome, and I do have a clip, a highlight clip of him, which when I was putting this together and I was watching this, I'm like, oh my God, this guy is so good. And what was I thinking back then? You got to respect, right? So let's take a look.
Okay.
O.J. McDuffie awaiting the kick, a low driving spiral. McDuffie takes it to 26, dances away from the tackler across the 30, 35, cuts back into 40, 45, 50, 45, 40, down to the sideline. Zaka tries to return the favor, goes to O.J. McDuffie. Oh, did he get it? Yes! McDuffie for the score. Marino, play action to O.J. McDuffie. Beautiful pass. Here is the reverse. McDuffie, a crease. McDuffie to the 40. McDuffie breaks free. McDuffie. The great arm. Goes deep. McDuffie's got it. McDuffie. Rolling to the right. Goes to McDuffie. Marino takes the snap. He's looking. Throwing into the end zone. O.J. McDuffie. It's a touchdown, Dolphins.
It's crazy how good he really is and was. And I mean, Penn State, right? He was
Penn State. Yes.
Graduate of Penn State, drafted by the Dolphins, 92 All-Pro, All-American, first-round pick, led the NFL in receptions in 98. Unbelievable. And to think that, you guys played with one another in that time in your life was incredible. Was he had to be a go-to guy for you, right? With what I just saw, what I just witnessed here.
Not at all. Well, the best thing about it is when we were in junior high and we played ninth grade football and he finally came out. It was amazing to me when you see it all that.
Yeah.
That he was the third option on our junior high football team, even though it went undefeated. He was the third option, which is
Really?
more of amazing. Yeah, it was amazing to think that he's doing all that and he's the third option on the team.
That's crazy because he doesn't look that big, right? I mean, what did he fill out?
5'10", 5'11", but still, I mean, he had the quickness, he had the moves, and
yeah.
I hate admitting to it. He also could hit because I was in one of the tackling drills and he hit me on my backside and I still think about that this day.
Oh my God!
So he could hit.
So at the time, I mean, in the previous clip that we showed in the Open, you had Bo Jackson, who was another a multi sport athlete. I mean,
yes.
You think OJ could have played baseball professionally as well?
What I'm about to say is not going to make some people happy.
Oh boy, I'm sorry I asked.
In my mind and in my heart, I saw that man play every day. I've seen Bo Jackson. I've seen Deion Sanders. In my heart, given the opportunity, you would have seen probably the best multi-sport athlete ever.
Ever.
And I do mean ever. Ever. Okay, people don't understand what this man did. Just I saw it every single day.
Yeah, you're hanging one up there, you know.
Hey, he on a okay. Bo Jackson like to call ball a hobby. I saw OJ on a jump 23 feet long, almost jump 7 feet in a height on a hobby.
Wow.
He didn't have to score, but he was a 20-point scorer in high school as an all-state basketball player and caused guards fits as a defensive guard and could dunk easily.
I
We
guess
already
he
know
had
about
the fast twitch muscles going on. I mean,
and then baseball. I mean, you had major league teams in school when he was in school. Major league baseball teams looking to draft him.
They were scouting him, yeah.
They were looking to draft, not just scout, looking to draft him.
To draft him right out of high school.
Right out of high school.
Wow.
No.
Wow.
Disrespect to any of those guys. If he was given the opportunity, he would be hands down the greatest athlete ever.
Wow. That's really
I believe that in my heart. I believe that in my heart.
Saying something. I mean,
not just because he's my brother, but like I say, when you see it every single day.
Yeah.
And no, if he get an opportunity, hands down.
What made him choose football?
From what I did, talking to Coach Paterno, made him decide to go to the NFL. From what I understood, I mean, because he was considering going to baseball because, like I said, he had an opportunity to really excel in baseball.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a 2 player. He can run he can hit for speed, hit for average, hit with some power, and the ball wasn't getting past him either in the outfield because he'd track it down.
He'd track it down. Yeah, that was his position, outfielder mainly?
I saw him play center field. I saw him play shortstop. He pitched. That's what I'm saying. Hands down.
Damn.
No.
Damn.
Hands down.
I tell you, for you to witness that is pretty special because you played football and you did track. Is that right?
I did football. I did about a year or two of basketball, and I did track. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Wow, that's amazing. So, this book was probably a very easy thing to do for you because you had it all up here, and you had it all compiled from your time there, and this book came out in July. No, this past July.
Came out this past July.
All right. Is it doing well, or what's going on with it?
It's doing. I believe it can do a lot more, and I hate saying that because I just have a lot more confidence in not just myself writing, but I have a lot of confidence in our story. I think our story is something that needs to be told, not just in the Cleveland area. It should be told all over because it's not just a story about athletic excellence, not just a story of guys coming from the hood and going to practice. Talk about brotherhood. I mean,
right.
We were always there for each other. We went through good times, we went through bad times, and we were always there. I mean,
yeah. I mean,
I talk to those guys. I text Marcus, Ice on and off, OJ on and off. We teach each other on and off. I mean, social media made it a little bit more accessible, reach out to each other. But
what did the others go on to do with their lives?
Everybody's got a professional job. Owen went to Cornell, and I forget where Will went, but I know he went off
Okay.
to college as well.
Okay. Good.
Marcus played football at Denison University. I played at a few schools. I played down in Virginia, and everybody's doing well. Everybody has their families. Matter of fact, like I said, OJ just sent his oldest son to school, and while I was sitting, while my girls were going to
Yeah.
their colleges, and Marcus has his girls, and everybody's doing good. I
Well,
mean,
OJ's
all
tied.
things considered,
He's
all
tied
things
to the
considered, we
NFL, so I'm sure he's doing like some commentating or something, right? Or
well, I know he's doing his podcast, The Fish Tank, and
oh, fish tank. Okay.
I've listened to a few of them, and it's just like it blows me away how he's transitioned from
Yeah.
being able to talk. I mean, talk about not just about football, being able to interact and be able to be on social media the way he is really great.
Yeah.
I'm so happy for him. I really
Uh,
am.
you have an audio book coming out with this.
It's coming out. I'm waiting for it to be approved. I worked on that for the last few months with
Mhm.
my producer T.A. Niles out of New Mexico, and I'm really looking forward for this to come out. It sounds incredible,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
just wait for Amazon to approve it so we can get the world to be able to listen to the
Yeah.
Renaissance.
Absolutely. It's a great story that you created and that you've been a part of and everything. And I'll tell you, there's another chat up there. Let's see, from X Night again. Just being around them pushed everyone else to do better, win or lose. Yeah, exactly right. You know, that was the biggest thing. So glad to see you continue. That's good. Look at that.
Big Chris, he was one of those younger brothers like Tony Twyman and those guys. I mean, they like I said, it was enlightening to see how much we could just change the culture. Just like I said, not only just athletics, but just
Right. Changed
people
everything. The school.
starting to embrace hip hop culture and just. I mean, when we did that whole rap during that talent show, we thought, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? Or how am I explaining to my dad that I got in trouble for doing a rap song, and everybody loved it, and it was great just to be
The
able to be
school,
embraced.
right? But the school was known for like bookworms and not so much the sports and even social.
It was a high academic school,
High
very high.
academics.
I mean, it was an academic challenge. They won debates all over the place.
Okay. Okay.
The I will say the swim team under Coach Jerry Holtry had just won a couple of state championships with the girls and were in line to win one with the boys.
Okay.
So they did have that tradition started. But like I said, before us, we had a guy by the name of Eric Hampton. I mean, he was talented and he was a multi-sport athlete, but they never got over the hump to the playoffs. Not
No.
until like our junior year, we made the playoffs. That was our second undefeated season, and it was unreal for football. Basketball, they hadn't won the district title. Our sophomore year, we won the district title, almost go to the Final Four, just in that. And then our senior year went to did the same thing. So, like I said, those 3 years just became
Yeah. I mean,
another level that we took that to. It was another level.
and just the impact on the community it's too. I mean, as far as the community where Hawken was, I'm sure
They were
they
incredible.
took notice. Yeah,
They were incredible. I mean, they loved us. I mean,
yeah,
it was
yeah,
incredible. I mean, and the more we got in the paper, the more they saw us on
yeah,
television, the
sure.
more you heard about us on the radio. It was incredible, and especially that senior year. I mean, just to see all those friends, family going to see us at games, and I never seen so many people erupt at that state semifinal game up in Berea,
Yeah,
Ohio. I mean,
yeah. I
it was
mean,
definitely. It
did
was.
did, Have you been
It was
back?
definitely.
Have you been back to visit?
I've been to Hawken a few times. I have.
Okay.
Uh, it's it. Number one, I don't recognize the place. I mean, they built on that place so much. It looks like
Yeah.
a college campus, even more like a college campus than it
Oh,
did
is that right?
before. Oh yes, it's unreal. And then kind of jealous. They got a turf field. They got lights on it because we played our
Yeah.
games on Saturday afternoon.
Oh, sure, sure.
Yeah, but and I I was hoping to see the tradition somewhat continue, and it has. Um, it's gone through some hard times, and not fault of any coaches. It's just,
Well, the
and I
talent,
think
comes in and out as far as the kids and their what drives them. Look, you were part of a special time in that school's
right,
history, and in your life with the others that you went to school with there. I mean that was like like the storm coming, and everybody just gelled, and everybody friended everyone, and it was none of the finger pointing. You all came together to. I mean, my God, you took the school and you put it on the map for winning championships, and God only knows what else.
and like I said, it was due to the brother. It was
Yeah,
due to us being
yeah,
together
yeah.
all the time. I mean, it wouldn't happen if we weren't together as one. I
Yeah.
mean, you know it. Individuals can only do so much, but as a group, we weren't going to be stopped. We
No,
weren't.
no, no, definitely not. Definitely not.
Yeah.
Melvin, it was awesome to have you on the show tonight. So glad that you accepted my invite. What an incredible story, that you have and that you now have in print. Everybody else to enjoy, and soon to be an audio book. It's great. Thank you so much for being a part of the show tonight.
Thank you for having it. Let everybody know it's on Amazon.com, Books a Million, Barnes and Noble, and soon to be on audiobook. And like I said, again, check out the website Onyx Renaissance 88. You'll be able to see pictures, everything
Right.
dealing with that Renaissance.
Yeah, yeah. It's good times, man. Good times in your life, and continue on. What's cooking next? What do you got? Anything brewing?
Wow. Other than the art book, I still have a couple of books in my mind in the works. I can't bring them out just yet,
Okay.
but please believe that I will keep on writing. I enjoy writing. I enjoy just being able to, like I tell people, I don't write stories. I try to paint a vivid picture, one chapter at a time, and I enjoy that. I really do.
And you're uh, an educator as well.
Kindergarten paraprofessional, yes, and Monday I got my kids back. Yes, I'm looking forward to that. Believe it or not,
There you
yes,
go. You got the little ones. They're
got the
bundled.
little ones.
They're bundled of joy. Come on. That's
Hey, it ever a dull moment, and with them probably having to wear a mask and shields, it's going to even be more of an interesting day. But I'm looking forward.
Absolutely. I mean, look, they're looking up to you, literally. You're a
Oh, I
giant.
know, I know. Oh gosh. Yeah, I remember my first doing it. They looked like that. They thought I was going to eat them, or
Oh my
no.
God.
And after the second day, they couldn't stop trying to climb my arms and legs, talking
Yeah.
about they want to
Yeah.
swing. But yes, I enjoy every moment
Good
of
stuff. Good stuff, Melvin. Thanks again
it.
for
Thank you.
joining me, and safe travels, and have a great time educating those little guys, and
Thank you.
and best of luck on the book and the audio book that's upcoming.
Oh yes, thank you.
All right, all right. Wow, that was great. Melvin was awesome tonight. Tune in again on Thursday with singer-songwriter and BMI award winner Mark Johnson is going to be on the show, and he's going to perform his some of his new music that he has upcoming at a festival. So come back to me on Thursday night at 9 p.m. for that, and that's all it is tonight. So thanks for joining me. look me up on social media. You know what to do, and follow me everywhere. So good night, America, and safe travels.
Bye.